Hey, what's up? This is T2K coming to you with another quick vlog before I head on out to the daytime. And this video is about a review of Straight Outta Compton. If you haven't seen it, you need to go see it. It was very tastefully done. Little background about this movie for me. When I saw the trailers, I wasn't excited, to be honest with you. It featured acts, Dr. Dre, NWA, Eazy-E. I know about these acts, and it's funny how my story is connected to them, but we'll get about that at the end of the video. It was just, I was like, okay, great, but is this going to be another James Brown Get On Up? Because I really couldn't stand that movie. It was just not really tastefully done. Kind of made James Brown look more crazier than strong. Even the biopic of Jimi Hendrix with Andre 3000, that movie put me to sleep. I could never finish it all the way through because I'm like, what's happening? But what I like about this movie, remember Ray and how great that was? Well, this movie was like on that same level as far as like the great storytelling and the feel of the movie. I like that it was gritty. It wasn't cheesily done. I think that casting Ice Cube's son as himself was genius because, he could act, and I mean, who can look more like Ice Cube than his son? So I was really impressed. Like, dang, they really cast this dude. And I wasn't aware, because I didn't really follow the movie, and the reason why I was following the movie was because I thought it was going to be another one of those biopics where everybody's going to say it's going to be a big hype and then it's going to be a big letdown. But it wasn't a big letdown. One of the things I really liked about the movie was, in the beginning where they're showing the original grind and Eazy-E going to the duplication house, and I was with my friend watching the movie, and I was telling her like, yo, that's what I do. That's what I'm doing now. Creating a product in a studio, right? Going to the dupe house to get copies pressed. So to see them do that kind of was a confirmation for me to keep doing what I was doing. But I related to that. I related to that grind and the hustle, and stuff like that. I don't know if I've had the same kind of success they have yet starting out, but I relate to it. And, watching Dre work on tracks was really inspiring. It took me back to Hustle and Flow and how they were in the studio and their hands were on the gear and they were trying to craft out hits. And I remember Dre was there's a scene where Dre works on Ain't Nothing But a G Thing, and you see him work on the song and he's working on the synthesizer, and then he gets it right, and I got chills because I'm like, oh, he got it right. I get that. I understand you got the beat running in the background. I so get that. I live that. So I flipped off, and then seeing the and then I just love seeing the old drum machines in there. I mean, you see a SB1200, you see Dre working on one of those. You see TR-909s and 808s in the studio. You see Moogs in the background, Moog synthesizers, and you see a Juno. So it was really cool. And then I also liked in the movie how there were certain scenes that showed how songs came together. For instance, Ice Cube's famous song, F the Police, right? Well, let me put it this way. It shows how it came together. I don't want to go into too much detail, but it shows how that song came together. It shows how so many things came together. How, the story is true. It shows about Tupac. It shows about Snoop Dogg, Eazy-E. And it was just a great film, very tastefully done. It dealt with police brutality. It dealt with a lot of issues that are still happening today. And it makes me think about the music we put out now. We're flicking our wrists now. We're not talking about some of the different treatment of people from the law and how they're being charged and stuff like that, and the treatment. I haven't experienced brutality, but I have experienced mistreatment, and it just really resonates with me what they're talking about, what they're dealing with. And I guess I wish more music addressed those issues like it did back then. Whereas most of the time we want to dance, we want to whip, we want to nay-nay, we want to flick our wrist, turn on the lights, you know, because I guess we got it so good right now, but it's not all good, you know, and it just kind of makes me think about the music we put out today and how it doesn't really tackle those issues, and it doesn't get pushed to the forefront like a lot of the, you know, the typical rap music. You know, yeah, we talk about blasting each other and all this other stuff, but you know, there seems to be a more conscious mode, and it just made me really look at that. Um, so, you know, if you haven't seen this movie, I think you should see it. I was very surprised. I was like, man, I actually like this movie. It's actually pretty good. But then I could relate on so many parts about being in the studio, writing out music, trying to do something with it, trying to find somebody to help you take it to the next level with getting copies pressed, or I guess if I was doing music back then, it'd be a big LP or a tape cassette. Um, just seeing how the group kind of broke up and people paying attention to their contracts, I thought that was really cool. Um, you know, because you would think that why would they mess up such a great thing, but then in reality it wasn't such a good thing, and just the dynamics. Like I said, I don't want to give away a lot in the movie. And in closing, I guess it's good to talk about the ending of the movie, because it deals with Eazy-E's future music endeavors, and you know, it's a fact on Wikipedia, so I'm not spoiling. It talks about how Eazy-E signed Bone Thugs, okay, and you see mention of that group, you know, towards in that timeline, which makes sense. So I don't feel that's a spoiler. Um, and just seeing them come up gives me chills, because where that chapter kind of ends and begins, and after that chapter is kind of where my chapter starts to begin, you know, because I produced a track for Crazy Bone. Well, Crazy Bone was a part of Bone Thugs and Harmony. Bone Thugs and Harmony signed with Eazy-E and did tracks with Ice Cube and Dr. Dre. So that was kind of chilling. It was like, wow, I'm kind of loosely connected to him. Like, you know, I don't know him, but it's interesting how the connections can be, you know, with the whole Bone Thugs thing connected to Eazy-E and all that. And my connection to Crazy Bone, no, I don't know him. I wish I could meet him and thank him for featuring me on his album, Gemini Good versus Evil. But again, you know, I'm still probably like every other producer out there, looking like one in a million. So just trying to find a way to differentiate myself. Well, I'm done. It's time for me to go. And y'all take care. All right.